loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cryptcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm awesome.
Okay. We're coming to you from inside the comic crypt in Eatontown, New Jersey, and we're here to give you that little bit of new comic book day that you might be missing in your life.
I mean, have you met me?
Yeah, you're right. So, a bunch to talk about just because last week was a giant fucking week of books. There's some cool stuff this week too, even though I would say caliber was slightly lower overall. But
By a lot.
well, it's BC tier books across the board. Everyone blew their load last time.
Yeah, last week there were books to rave about.
Right.
This week there was just some good shit.
Yeah, but first, we gotta get to some stuff. Many people let us know what was going on with Fantastic Four and why they're in Arizona. But just to let everyone else know, the Fantastic Four are staying in
Fantastic Four.
They are staying in Arizona since
They live over there.
since the beginning of the
They're not here no more.
Starting off great.
I'm just glad people still read Fantastic Four, because Lord knows I won't.
All right, so let me get through this, and we'll talk about it a little bit, I guess. All right,
We're in Arizona.
They're in Arizona since the beginning of the current run.
Okay.
People are mad at them, which is why they're in Arizona. Reed,
People in New York are mad at them?
yes, I think everyone.
I mean,
Well, it's so.
that's par for the course.
What we were told was Reed moves the Baxter building and a city block or some area around the Baxter building into a pocket dimension, but it freezes time for them. So they're existing off on their own away, and they're going to pop back in a year like nothing ever happened. But everyone's really mad that happened because it looks like they destroyed a city block or an area around it. The Fantastic Four breaks up right after that because of the fallout, and then they come back together in Arizona at Aunt Petunia's place, and that's why they're there, because Aunt Petunia's place.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
But it's only Ben's Aunt Petunia.
Yeah, but you figure Ben was there, and maybe Reed showed up, and then Johnny showed up, or who knows, whatever.
I think the more important question is, has Aunt Petunia showed up? Because I don't know that she's ever been in an issue just
I don't know.
referred to by
She's yes. I think her first appearance is way later than you would actually expect it to be.
I know shit about the Four.
I remember recently coming across this somewhere. I don't have exacts, so sorry, but yeah, I think her first appearance is way later, in the 2000s,
Okay.
later. To follow up on that, we have a couple emails. One of them was from James, and he in the email he gives an explanation. He's one of the people who laid it out. I think James laid it out, Matt laid it out, and Tim laid it out for us, among other people. But those are the three that spring to mind. I'm sorry, all you other people. I apologize.
Yes, all you people who didn't get laid.
What?
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, they all laid it out. So, yeah.
Yes.
Laying out fools like kitchen towels.
Okay. Anyway. James says the book's really good, and the series is done in one-off stories.
Oh, that's a lie. How can it be good? There's no good characters in it.
And he specifically says, for you. He says, even as non-FF guys, I think both of you would really like it. Brian would especially like the issue where Ben and Johnny get jobs at a local supermarket, and they compete to be Employee of the Month.
Oh, no, that sounds like something I like.
See?
Slice of life shit.
Right. Silly. So yeah, there we go. Fantastic Four in Arizona, done. To continue on with James's email, he mentions that he loves hearing the terrible quiz questions from the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody's enjoying it, because we're not.
Yeah,
we're just showing how bad we don't know comics.
Yeah, he says he's also 0 for 10 on all of them.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, they're hard.
I mean, we've hit 1 or 2 on guesses.
Yeah, complete guesses. Yeah, there were some gimmies in there, but I got that one where it's just absolute guess. Had no idea.
Yeah.
So he puts in a question here. What comic trope do you feel like has been done enough and you don't want to see in another story? For example, I never want to see the superheroes encounter each other and fight until they realize it's a misunderstanding.
Oh, so he's never reading comics again.
It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it still happens. But it's that. It's like, what is still being used that you've seen enough of that you never want to see again?
I'm tired of characters going to hell. Wolverine's gone to hell recently, and Hulk's gone to hell recently, and I'm like tired of seeing unkillable people killed.
Okay. All right.
There's a bunch of tropes I'm kind of sick of.
Trying to think of something specific that really irks me. Time travel. Fuck time travel every time. It gets used so much. I don't know if that's necessarily a trope, but it's like a storytelling device that I very much dislike.
I'd agree, but I'm really liking Rocket Fellas.
It's okay.
And it's time travel-y. A lot.
Well, the whole conceit is time travel. They flew back into the past, right?
Right.
In general, though, time travel stories are so hard to make sense and be good that I just generally just go bleh, like as soon as I see one.
Like Big 2 time travel can eat a dick.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like
yeah. We're
I sat that the current cable run after the second issue. It's like, nope.
I think we're squarely in the talking about Big 2 superhero tropes.
People with metal arms.
No, that's cool.
Nope.
That's cool.
Nope.
And every single one of them is a left arm. Mm-hmm. They all have metal left arms.
I hate it.
Cyber's got two metal arms. Mm-hmm. Colossus is a big metal arm.
but in the Cable Mini, he traveled to wherever the fuck. I don't even know if he's going future.
I think Misty Knight has her right arm.
It is her right.
Okay, she's the one off.
Yeah, she's the one off.
Yeah.
And she's cooler than anybody else with a left
I agree.
arm.
Yes.
She's cooler than Winter Soldier.
Way more
cooler
awesome.
Than Cable.
A lot more going on. Yeah, metal arms, a little dumb, overused.
I'm glad Bishop doesn't have a metal arm anymore. They fixed that. They were just like, new arm, good for you, new arm.
We're gonna make you more Cable.
And they did that before Krakoa. They'll fix your arm, fix it. It's stupid.
Future stuff, whatever.
Yeah, they're like, you grow your hair back, dreads, no more bald head for you.
I like his current, just
the little dreads,
close haired thing. Yeah.
That's fine. You can't be bald and have a goatee as a black man. Then you just look like Jon Stewart, and you look like Luke Cage, and I hated it when they did it to Bishop. It's like, no.
So is there any other big thing? I don't know. It's anytime this question gets any kind of question gets posed to me, my brain just locks up and goes. I think about shit constantly.
I mean, I think we named enough tropes.
Yeah.
That are.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything that really
Time
gets
travel's
me.
a good one.
I see time travel's the one I always bitch about.
Yeah.
Every single time it comes up. So I'm gonna go with time travel. Yeah.
I think like I said, Rockefellers. You get a different. You get a different story in a different setting.
There are instances where it's done well, but most of the time it's just a pile of garbage.
Yeah. De-aging characters, not letting them get married and have children or age. Like Spider-Man as a trope. is terrible. So somebody, some asshole in comics, Tom Barverud, whatever the hell his name, I don't know. I don't know people in the industry because I hate them all.
Okay.
Said, you'll never see Spider-Man get married again. And it's like, oh, good. Why? Because it's, when I was 12 and started reading some comics, he was married. Why not let him?
Because it's not going to fit into the formula they want it to be, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and look how great fucking Ultimate Spider-Man is, better than fucking regular continuity Spider-Man. So why would we adapt and make it why? Because we're fucking dumb. That's why.
You could have toe the company line.
I know. It's stupid.
So I think that was a good question, James.
Absolutely.
I'm still mulling it over and it's still not happening.
That's because there's more.
there's more.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have another email. I'll pull it up from Jason again. This one I'm gonna have to read out full because James is multi-part, so we had to skip around a little bit.
Okay.
But this is from Jason. I was in my basement last night building models to my little heart's content when my imagination started to get the better of me. Thinking about dead stuff and ghosts and thingies got me thinking, as I hid under my hobby table, is there a comic series about people that investigate and combat the supernatural that the fellas at the crypt might recommend? I'm not talking about something like Ghostbusters or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean more like an organization that is dedicated to holding the line between this world and the unknown. maybe using science and magic to protect humanity from the demonic hordes and undead. Also, do you guys believe in ghosts and visitations from the afterlife? If so, any recommendations on how to get rid of a Lebanese granny that I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye when I'm down here?
Well, creepy.
Yeah.
But the whole Hellboy pantheon does that. BPRD. All the BPRD books.
Yeah, that was going to be my first go-to is BPRD is that.
And didn't Vertigo have a series called Dead Boy Detectives?
Yes, but I don't know what that entails. I did not read it.
I believe one of the detectives was a dead boy.
Right, but I don't know if they do supernatural stuff or just a dead guy helping with regular cases.
No, I think one kid was alive and one kid was dead. And I think I didn't read it.
Okay, like I can't say.
I did watch a TV series based on it.
Okay. There is Magic Order by Mark Millar. That is specifically magic stuff, where there is a family and a group of wizards and sorcerers or whatever who is basically holding back all the evil magic and protecting the world, so it doesn't affect anybody. It's all behind the scenes. And I can only really recommend the first 2 volumes of that. I think they just rounded out the 5th volume, and I tapped out in 3, so take that for what it will.
Yeah, I think the Hellboy Pantheon universe, whatever, hits that.
Yeah, dead on.
Right, dead on.
Yeah. The only other thing I could think of is where it's not necessarily. I guess it depends on how you want to look at it, but just Department of Truth. Department of Truth is a series where there is an agency, the Department of Truth, that combats cryptids and conspiracies, because it's in a world where the more that something is believed, the more true it is. Okay. And they go and deal with that kind of stuff. So I have not read that, but that's what I understand the series is. So that's kind of along that line as well, because they'll fight cryptids and weird conspiracy shit. So. And no, I don't believe in spirits.
Yeah, no, you're wrong, guys. No aliens, no ghosts, no gods. Yep. Atheist as fuck. I don't believe in shit.
Maybe try. There's stuff you could try. Dybbuk box. That's a thing.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a Jewish box that's meant to hold a malevolent spirit. Okay. Yeah, so you maybe get one of those. Or I think that there's rituals where you can draw spirits into crystals. From what I understand, that's a quote-unquote thing. Or just throw salt all over the place. Ghosts don't like salt, right?
Yeah, that's a thing. You're supposed to, line your doors and windows?
Well, any entrance, right?
Yeah. Well, that's so they can't get in. This one's already in, apparently.
We'll trap it in there and never go in the basement again.
Sure. But they're not. That's not cool. That's his hangout spot. That's his spot. Oh. That's his man cave. He builds his models there and shit.
Well, put it to work. Make it clip off those pieces from the sprues and clean up those seams for you if it's going to be there.
I'll come visit. I'll have to non-believe it out of there. I'll just fucking berate it and be like, "You're not fucking real. Get the fuck out. Suck, stupid ghost."
Yep. Good luck with that, Jason. Thank you for the question. Thank you, James, for the question. Now let's talk about some books. All right, you want to talk about last week or this week first? Or you just want to flip-flop wherever your heart takes you?
I don't have a lot to talk about, so.
Why?
Because.
Didn't read anything?
I read some stuff.
Like what?
The thing I want to talk about the most is We're Taking Everyone Down With Us by Matthew Rosenberg and Stefano Landini. That book was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I am hooked.
I think that's also my top pick for the past couple weeks. Is that book?
Yeah, Dr. Dante Alderman is a soft Doctor Doom.
Oh, that's what I put here too. It's
a Doctor Doom who is not Doctor Doom yet.
It's Doctor Doom with a daughter.
Yeah, he's a mad scientist. Has his lab assistant who's the older. It's weird. The lab assistant seems like the older guy with the crazy white hair. He seems more the mad scientist type.
He has the look to it. Yeah,
you're gonna find out that's his dad or some shit like that. He just berates him and treats him like shit because he's a bad guy. Alderman's a bad guy, except for when it comes to his daughter Annalise. His daughter Annalise is his starfish. And man, the from page to page, right? You open up the page and this girl's being chased through the woods and you're like, oh my God. And she's being chased by this murder robot. Well, you don't know it's a murder robot, but it's being chased by a robot. You just assume all robots are murder robots at first.
I think that's a good instinct.
Yeah. But then you turn to the next page and they're just fucking playing hide and seek.
Also, there's 5 of them.
Yeah, they just keep appearing one at a time, and she's real pissed because she wants to be playing hide and seek with her dad, and then he pawns her off on the robots because he's busy. He's a mad scientist who has fucking shit to do.
Also, he is Dr. Doom, who is like, I don't have use for this.
This serves no purpose.
Yeah. He is very work focused and doesn't understand work life balance.
But all the characters are so even though he's a piece of shit, he's awesome. I like him.
Right. I mean, he's presented in a way where, if you were to take Dr. Doom and be like, we're going to write the story from his perspective, he is the hero doing the work to save the world.
Right. And
his daughter's there, and he's trying to balance that out. And these bad men killed his wife. So we gotta deal with that. And yes, daughter, these bad men will try to hurt you. And obviously those bad men are the whatever world agency or superheroes.
Vale was the name of the agency, which is great because the main agent is plowing some who he thinks is a Playboy centerfold.
Did so many drugs.
Yeah, he's like Burt Reynolds. He's got the Burt Reynolds mustache. When the bureau contacts him, there's this masked guy in a suit shows up, and it's this guy died. We need you to go do stuff.
Right. Also, this takes place in the 70s. It has to.
Yeah, it has to. And he's like, well, why am I just finding out about this now? And he points over at the naked girl, well, you've been plowing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, she's Miss February, Playboy centerfold. He's like, no, she's not. She wasn't in Playboy. She was in Hustler, some other thing. Yeah, she's not even a centerfold.
And he says he's like centerfold. No, he said centerfold, and he's like, yep. He's like, all right, good enough.
Yeah. I won't go into everything in the book, because I really recommend you go read it. But man, it's fun. It's so good.
It is. It's just chock full of family issues.
Yeah.
That are unresolved. Stuff happens, but you could see the guy trying. He realizes he messed up and is like, okay, I gotta go try with my daughter. I gotta go do this. He's trying to make it right. So he's a good person in context of his daughter.
In the context of his daughter, yeah.
So yeah, it's because
he's fine. Because he has this moment where he's like, what do you want? And she's like, all I wanted to do is play hide and seek with you. He's like, fine, we'll play hide and seek. We'll play
hide or seek.
Hide or seek.
We don't have time for both.
Yeah, we don't have time for both. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I'll seek because I'll never be the hunted. I'll never be the one that gets hunted. I'll be the hunter. And it's just like, shit.
And as serious as the book is, there is humor dropped into it, here and there.
She hits the one robot with a rock and it develops a speech impediment. Yeah. And they're all walking away and he's like, hey, what's wrong with you? He's like, Annalise hit me with a rock. And he's like, all right, go fix it. We'll tune you up.
We'll leave it after this, but the thing that made me chuckle the most was she's sulking in her room and has her door locked. And her dad breaks in and uses one of the robots to break in, and he goes, hey, I brought you dinner. And she's like, I already ate. And she's like, what did you eat? You've been locked in here. And he goes, the guy slid in pieces of bologna and cheese under the door. And he goes, that's how he feeds the vampire apes. And she's like, what? And she's like, nothing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the vampire apes. And then later on, she's like, I want to see the vampire apes. She's like, no, you cannot see that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll show you other stuff.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, that was my favorite book. That had the charm.
Yes.
That really reels me in. It's not the same kind of book as Gromit's, but I like the characters that much.
Yeah, it gets you invested very quickly.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yep.
Even though he murders a guy.
Yeah, but that's
6 guys.
Once you accept who he is, you're just like, look, all right, this is who he is.
Yeah. You slide into that premise very quickly. The art's pretty.
And that was a double thick issue. It was 2 issues.
It felt way. Or it was very dense. Either way, it was a good read. Like I said, I think that's my top pick for from everything I've read for this week and last. That's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Another one I really liked.
You'll Do Bad Things.
I didn't read that one yet.
You didn't get to read that one?
No, I didn't read it.
I like that one.
It's literally next on the list. It's not gonna win anything, and I enjoy their stuff each time they do something, but I was a fashion school serial killer from this week. It was just a fun read.
It was fun.
So it's Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard, the guys who did Plastic, Vinyl, Plush. Hilliard just did art on the most recent Gotham City Sirens thing. I like his art a lot.
And that was fun too.
Yeah, I like Hilliard's art quite a bit. And then Wagner, he just has this fun. All these concepts are just it's going to be ultra violent, but it's going to be a good time. That's all it is. It's just girl gets into the most prestigious fashion school in the world, which is in New York.
Yeah, New York Fashion Institute.
You figure that'd be in Paris, but you know.
Yeah, right.
But she's a budding serial killer, and she makes her clothes out of skin. That's it.
That is it. That is it.
Friend, and otherwise, it's just like it's
character introduction. There's like the cliquey girls,
right.
The three cliquey girls that you know she's gonna kill.
It's Mean Girls.
Yeah, it's Mean Girls with a
serial
meaner
killer.
girl.
Yeah.
It's Mean Girl meets Heathers.
Yes, very good. Yeah,
Right.
So,
I do enjoy the fact that it is fashion driven. Like the clothing designs on all of the characters are more than you would expect out of like your average comic book. You know, the floral patterns on the teachers' dresses.
Going to a fashion school, you better fucking pay attention to those goddamn clothes.
I'm just saying, it's very fitting. If it like the vibe
fitting
fits. Yes, the vibe fits the story.
Yeah. I just like it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
It's just, like I said, not going to win any awards. It's just a good read. And if you haven't read any of their work together, read Plastic, read Vinyl, read Plush. They're all ridiculous fun, as long as you're okay with some gore thrown in.
I will, tropes. Overused tropes, overdone tropes. The Janet Jackson Rolling Stone hands covering the titty cover. Enough.
Well, that's...
Because there's a B cover of that book.
Yeah.
That is the hands coming from behind.
You could say that about so many things. Action number 1, homage.
Sure. Yeah, homages in general. Overdone trope.
Sure.
Done with the homages.
Just particular ones that are overdone. More so than others.
Yeah. But they're never good. It's always just like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Okay, cool. Fine.
Yeah.
Move on. So, we've got some other stuff. I'll hit it with the last indie on the list here that like meant something to me, and then we'll go on to big 2 stuff. From last year, from Jesus.
Wow.
I'm time traveling.
You're time traveling with Jesus. Time traveling style.
It's always got bread, always got fish.
That's a conservative way to time travel with Jesus.
Well, he just takes the wheel and he goes wherever he wants.
That's a very sophisticated OnStar fucking system you got there.
So, last week, the guy who did Beneath the Trees Where No One Sees, Patrick Horvath, released a one-shot called Free For All, which I enjoyed quite a bit.
I did not read that. It was so big, and it was at the bottom of my pile.
It's a really quick read.
Is it?
Most of it is most of the action. Most of the book is action.
Okay.
But the idea is that it's in the future, and they figured out a system to have money kind of brought back into the world, so this way you can have social programs and stuff like that. So what happens is if you own a business, you're the CEO, or an individual amasses a particular amount of wealth, you get put on a random pick list, and if your name comes up, you either have to donate half of your wealth, or fight in a coliseum against another very rich person in order to keep it.
This sounds like socialist scum propaganda.
Yes, because if you die, your entire net worth gets redistributed into the population so they can have social programs, or you just donate half of your wealth and it goes into there anyway.
It sounds awful.
It's great.
It is un-American. It's the most un-American book. Whoever wrote this book should be put in a prison with no trial.
So that's the idea, but the story is about a divorced couple where they made a company together and it was causing like stress in their lives, so they decided to give the company away so they could just be normal people. And then the guy immediately turned around, like in a plan, like they literally signed the papers, and then he signs another paper, and he then takes over the company as a whole, and has divorce papers ready for his ex-wife right in front, like right there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so she's pissed. So what she does is she builds another company just so she can compete in these games, because he's the current 20. He's competed 22 times and won 22 times. So he's like a badass gladiator because he will not give up his money. So just to get revenge on him, she gets in and they fight. I won't tell you how it ends.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I no longer have to read this.
It's good. It's worth. I like it.
I'm having trouble with it conceptually. Maybe if we implemented it in real life, maybe Bezos versus Gates.
Sure.
I'd like to see that happen, and then maybe I could understand it a little better. We got to get that in the works.
Yeah. So let's move on to real books. Real books, Marvel DC books.
Were they fake? Were the other ones fake books?
Yeah, I don't fucking count.
I think they count more. I think they count more.
No, only Marvel DC counts.
I think
They're the only things that
right now.
Because Marvel DC put out the better quality all the time. They're the ones that everyone cares about.
Okay.
No one reads the indie bullshit.
Well, I mean, as poorly as all of the X titles are currently being written, Spider-Man's better, but not great.
Hey, I'll take better for Spider-Man, honestly.
I'll take better for Spider-Man after a bunch of years of crap.
Unfortunately,
Ultimate is still slaying it.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're looking down the barrel of another number one, which is unnecessary for both Batman and fucking Spider-Man, but whatever. But I'm hopeful for Spider-Man going forward.
DC put a good foot forward with a healthy initiative of new titles. I liked more of them than I thought, but they're minis and they're petering out.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Like Black Canary's limited, Questions are limited. And I was like, you better come out with some new shit to keep the momentum rolling. I love Matt Fraction. The prospect of Matt Fraction on Batman is
it's definitely a plus.
Is alluring to me because Fraction's Uncanny is some of my favorite.
I mean,
shit
Fraction
ever.
has a lot of good shit under his belt.
Yeah.
So I'm down for that.
But I can't say that the big two are winning anything right now. I know you are.
I love indies.
I know you do, but generally I do not. Generally I am, a creature of habit, and I like my old friends that I've been reading my whole life. When this is probably the first time ever I've been consistently enjoying indies over.
Look, there's more risk and more reward, I think, overall, just because anything can happen. Whereas we've talked about it before.
I'm just saying,
Marvel DC, you got to play in the box.
It's been a long time, in my opinion, since indies have been this good. How long has Invincible been done? Like, it's been over for years.
Yeah, but I think that's
during that time period, nothing beat Invincible.
I mean, Invincible was fantastic, but it was within a particular genre. Yes, I think I'm not trying to disparage you in any way, but you have a very narrow view of what was coming out.
Oh yeah, I like what I like. I never even fucking looked at it.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. So I disagree with the fact they did the best they've ever been. They go. It's like everything else. They go through ups and downs. We're in a better period for indies right now, or it feels like it's a little better.
Yes, but
it's not the best.
For what I look for out of indies, now is the best. Things that have endearing characters, regardless of what their roles are in the books, characters that I can really latch onto. Because there's tons of horror books that have been good. The Something's Killing Children franchise and House of Slaughter and all that stuff. They're still going. Clearly they're good. They have their fan base. It's just not for me.
Sure.
The hell else was big? Berserk.
Yeah,
I had no interest at all, but people bought the shit out of that book.
I don't know why.
How many people were subscribed to that book? A lot.
A lot of people still are.
I'm just saying.
They're still shitting out number ones every once in a while.
Listen, just like
one-offs.
Listen, just like you said, my scope is narrow, but look, other people like shit that you don't like too.
Look, this is comic books, baby. This is art. Everything's subjective. So the way it rolls.
I'm just saying, grommets, FML. Rockefellers. There's a lot of personality in those books.
Sure.
All of those characters are really individuals. So it's not just a bunch of kids monster hunting or a bunch of kids doing this.
But most indies, it's not that. I mean, there are. Don't get me wrong. But just indies in general, there's tons of that going back for a long time.
Most of the stuff that presents itself through the indie network, it doesn't really appeal to me. I'm not really a horror guy. horror stuff had to present itself in a whole different format for me to enjoy horror stuff. Like, what the hell is it called? What was the dog book with the ferals, the same guys?
Stray Dogs.
Stray Dogs. I don't call it Dog Days for some reason.
Nope.
But yeah, Stray Dogs. You know, it's like, oh, look how fucking cute this is. Oh, look how horrific this is on the inside. You know, that was the kind of thing where it kind of presented itself as one thing, and it was
it just had a something that subverted like the tone with the art. Sure.
And it was like so adorable that it like lured me in. It wasn't like, look on its face, this is a very horrific book, and I was like, okay, cool, I want to read that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying like, it's always been there. I'm just glad you're paying attention to it.
Listen, back in my day, indies were nothing but rip-offs of the fucking thing too.
Yeah, Spawns and Supreme.
I was there for the, you know,
Max's.
beginning days of Image.
Sure. Well, speaking of throwbacks, Hush started. Hush 2. Batman 158.
Yeah, it wasn't anything.
I wasn't impressed, but it was okay. It was a story. Like
it was pretty artwork.
It was a really soft opening issue.
You want to talk here again? We're just going to go back to James's question all the time. Tropes that I'm just tired of seeing. I am tired of seeing the Joker having the shit kicked out of him.
He loves it.
He is a sadist, and he does love it, and that is part of the fun of the character, is that he just keeps talking shit during it, which just makes you go, dear God, do you feel anything? But he's been shot in the head. He's lost an eye. The eye came back. It's a different color. Like, what the fuck? Like, his face was cut off. It's back on. Like, how many times has he been brutally tortured and the shit kicked out of him? So many. I'm done. At this point, everyone in the DC universe has laid a hand on the Joker should go to prison. Not the Joker. The Joker is a 98-pound weakling. Yes, he's a sociopath. Yes, he has killed many people. But this guy, like, the wind can knock him down.
Well, he goes toe-to-toe with Batman for more than 2 panels, so it's like...
There's lots of sharp things. And Batman likes him.
He can... He's pulling punches to have fun.
Batman's taking him in the face all the time. Oh, you got me good there, buddy. Oh.
Owie, ouchies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why do you think you put Robin with him all the time? He's like, you fight the kid. Get tired fighting the kid. I'm just going to put you down 1-2.
Whatever. That means nothing to me, honestly. I don't care. Like, they can beat the shit. It's the same thing for Enigma or Penguin or whatever.
No. It's not the same thing. Because they're never, like, spitting out fucking teeth and shit. Like...
Not as much, because I think that's just a symptom of the Joker being overused, and you really want to ham it up.
Like, I want to know how many teeth in the Joker's mouth are original.
Oh, none.
Like, none. Not a damn one.
No. Every time he loses one, he makes it a little bigger, so he has a bigger smile.
I want to be able to not chew food.
But yeah, it's just for something I was not looking forward to at all. It under-delivered in the first issue in such a disappointing way.
There's no story.
Yeah. It goes, hey, remember Hush? That was the issue.
There's no story. There's no even mystery. You don't even like, there's no like, oh, I wonder who did. No, there's none of it. Yeah. It is not a detective story. Thank God it's not a detective.
Yep.
It'd be false advertising.
They reveal Hush immediately, which is like, of course, yes, fine, because Hush is the fucking story, right? But yeah, there's nothing to grab you other than like, hey, Jim Lee's doing the art.
Yeah.
And Hush is there.
Yeah.
Cool, huh?
Like you're
not
a
cool.
big, like, nostalgic Jim Lee nutbag. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Sure. That only goes so far with me.
Right. There's plenty of good artists in the world.
Yeah. And
you weren't there in 1991, motherfucker.
No, I was fucking 2, 3.
You weren't there when he did X-Men.
Nope.
Made X-Men great again.
I was a baby.
There was an article online I saw recently that was like, the Jim Lees and the Silvestris and the artists in the 90s that boomed and that are dominant now are 100 times better than the Kirbys. And I read the headline, I was like, that is a fucking bold statement, And I'm not a huge Kirby fan myself, but still, bold statement. Open the article, and the headline is, and all those guys would tell you that they wouldn't have careers if it weren't for Kurt. I'm like, all right, good, cool, much better.
The thing is, like, people, you make these distinctions, but like you look, there are generational styles. You know, like the art evolves. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. So if you're gonna shit on one, like why? What's like again? It's all art, it's subjective, whatever. Right. But like you got to pay respects where it's due, whether you like it or not. So.
Agreed. That's why I've like shut anyone down. Whoever starts to shit on Stan, it's like stop. Mm-hmm. Just stop.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't have Marvel if he didn't fucking put the work in.
Right.
So yeah, Hush, first issue, big old meh.
Yeah.
See what happens. Hopefully more. One way or the other. Maybe it'll be terrible and I can make fun of it. Maybe it'll be great and it'll make me feel bad about trying to judge it so hard.
Unfortunately, what I feel is going to happen is just going to have like 10 pounds of shit shoved in it because that's what it's obligated to do now, to be like cameo after cameo after cameo, and it's just going to be like, oh, okay, so now it's just like the first Hush or the Long Halloween or any of those stories that you just try to like fit everyone in, only it's going to be one of those but by design, so it's going to be like, all right, you're not as well thought out.
And the best part, 6 issues this year. 6 issues
I'm
next
already
year.
mad at that. How do you even do that? How do you interrupt the story? And they need to like skillfully do it. Like it needs to not just like cut off and go to the next Batman story. They need to have a reason.
Yeah,
why
it needs to integrate in somehow.
Like they better fucking do that. Mm-hmm. Like that's going to be a huge failure if they're just like pause, see you in the year.
Yeah,
and then like what? You're coming back in the Matt Fraction run under a new number. So like we have these 6 issues in whatever the numbers are.
Right. They better put fucking legacy numbers.
They're going to put legacy numbering on it because we're approaching 1,000. We're at like 920
That's true.
something.
Yeah, so they could pop us for
of course.
$10 book
Damn right.
on all the big ones.
Damn right. Well, tariffs are coming. It's going to be like $15.
Yes. So
don't forget, kids, your comics are printed in Canada.
Oh.
Thanks, Donald.
The first thing I thought was Donald Duck.
Oh, he has an orange bill. Yeah.
I guess. So to stick with DC, we got 2 new Absolute books. One I liked more than the other. Specifically, Martian and Lantern. I liked Martian more.
Martian Manhunter was really good, and I was surprised. They took a interesting art style.
Very like Art Deco kind of thing going on.
More out of the box for DC than I would expect.
If you're gonna get experimental with someone,
he's a character.
It's the one to do it with.
Yeah. That was a big win. Like I will definitely read the next issue. I might actually stick through.
It was weird, but I also said Flash was weird. This is way weirder.
Well, way weird. Yeah.
Like they play with the power set, like they play with like who the character is, because Martian Manhunter is not John Jones. There is a John Jones who works for the FBI or whatever agency he works for, and then there is an alien entity that is like in his head, and he's an explosion, and then he starts seeing stuff. So that's where like he enters, and I really like the way they come and tackle like mind reading and telepathy, because it's I've never seen anything like it before.
Well, I'm wondering if John Jones dies in the explosion and Martian Manhunter
like takes over his body,
and is like slowly coming to the realization that he's not him.
It's a possibility. For this book, anything could fucking happen. I don't know. It doesn't seem that way. I like the idea of like the Martian coming in and like them having to kind of make terms with each other,
right,
and go forward, because like John seems to be very much struggling with like the onset of being able to hear everyone's fucking thoughts, and it's like messing with him pretty bad. I like it, and it's one of those things where he doesn't realize is this because of the explosion? Is this brain trauma? Like what's going on? Yeah, it's just cool stuff going on.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Absolute Green Lantern #1.
Just to pause for a second and think about the fact that like you have nicer things to say about a Martian Manhunter book than Batman, drawn by Jim Lee, and written by Jeff Loeb.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Doesn't feel good.
For me, I don't care. Like you have to constantly deliver, or otherwise, why do you get your accolades?
It just doesn't sound right.
But Absolute Green Lantern, it's an Al Ewing book, and it felt like it underdelivered so hard. Like, Flash was weird, but it had a hook. Martian Manhunter weird, but it had a hook. Green Lantern, not weird, no hook. Like, there was nothing I got to, like, grab onto and be like, oh, cool, this is an interesting thing.
So I said to you earlier, when it came to the Flash, there was a lot of characters from Flash's universe in the story, and they were there, and it made sense.
Yes.
And again, there was many established characters. You had Jon Stewart, you had Joe. I don't know Joe's last name.
Jolene. No, it's Sojourn Moulin, I think.
Okay, but Joe is there, Hal's there. They mention Guy, and it's like, why are all these people? They don't have to be.
They
forced
all live in the same like
tiny little shoebox.
Green Hollow town, like
Evergreen.
Evergreen,
yeah,
like green. Okay, yeah. They all live in this town, Evergreen, where it's like, well, why?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Like, John's still an architect. Joe still is a former cop. She was a cop. Hal is a fucking collector, like a collectible salesman.
Yeah, toy collector.
Like, he's a toy resale guy.
Interesting.
Which is like, okay, cool. You're pandering to a crowd where it's like, oh, nice. I'm not a jet pilot, but I sell toys.
Hal also comes off as like a very young man.
Yeah, he seems like he's like in his 20s.
Yeah, and he's like excited about stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like our Hal's a little bit of a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
I find this Hal more fun. But you also find out that this Hal is the Black Hand.
Right.
And it's like, well, I guess you're a villain. Because you're going to kill a lot of people.
Right. And he did.
Yeah.
Not meaningful, but he did. Yeah, so Hal's Black Hand, and then we find out at the very end that Joe becomes the Green Lantern. But again, there's nothing sucking me in at all.
Yeah, we don't see the ring get passed off. We don't see how Hal becomes Black Hand. Abin Sur shows up, and he looks like a reject out of Dragon Ball Z.
He does look like he's he looks like a super powered like Twi'lek with 4 arms.
Yeah.
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 So like, there's cool design stuff going on. I just have nothing to like hang on to.
And then they make Jon Stewart like this like wise kind of like studious sage. He's got like the words of wisdom. Like and I like Jon Stewart, so I like
Jon Stewart too. Yeah,
having him be like the elder statesman of the group and like the voice of reason. And
I guess, but he doesn't come off that much older. He's
he seems like a man.
He's more put together.
Yeah, and he's definitely.
Like he runs like an architectural firm, so he's got to be an adult, at least.
Yeah.
So,
but there isn't like a lot of nice things to say. The art is good. It's not breathtaking.
I didn't vibe with the art. Like, I'm cool with a lot of stuff, and I'm fine with like anime influencing like comic art because there's so much crossover and stuff.
Sure.
But there's things that I find acceptable and that I don't on a personal level, and for whatever reason, I did not vibe with the art in any way. It felt off.
I didn't hate it. It did seem a little anime-ish, like it definitely Hal's hair was spiky.
I mean, it's just like
hedgehog hair is a thing.
Stuff, like it had a good amount of anime influence in it.
The thing I hated most was that the giant Green Lantern symbol
was the ship.
Yeah, it was the ship. Yeah, like it was a spaceship. That's what dropped on the city or whatever. And it just looked like a fucking giant Jello mold. It was just stupid.
Yeah.
And speaking of stupid, when they approach the force field, and Hal touches it, and it's like, why?
I mean, that's at least addressed in book where they're like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that, dummy.
Yeah. But still, just the fact that, like, there are characters still that are so dumb.
Look, if anyone's going to do it, it's Hal.
Sure. I'm brave enough to touch the giant Jello mold. That's great.
Yeah. So I think this is probably the weakest absolute book for me, by a long shot.
Superman's still the weakest for me.
I get it.
But I just hate Superman.
It's a slower story, and we've gone over Superman a couple times, so I understand.
Yeah.
Superman at least has me invested in what's going on, where this is for a first issue, I went, okay.
I feel like I have seen more absolute versions of Superman than absolute Superman. You know, when regular continuity Superman was, just recently in the last few years was on Warworld with no powers, and he had the fucking chains holding the logo on his chest and shit. That was a more badass, swaggery Superman.
Just because it's absolute doesn't mean it's going to be badass, awesome time stuff.
But it's like I'm looking for something more extreme, right? Because like it's the absolute. But it's the absolute world that Darkseid made, right?
No, it's a universe in which Darkseid like guided it, but he's not like nitpicking like who gets to do what.
I know, but like if you read that one shot, he was talking about a more brutal world to forge better heroes.
Yeah, harder like
a harder reality.
Yeah, there's less love, less friendship, all that going on.
Right.
Sure.
And I just don't feel like Superman is embodying what Superman's supposed to embody during these things.
But he's doing it. He's sad boy Superman, but he's going around.
I don't know.
He's sad boy Superman because he's feeling the loss of Krypton because he has a real connection to it because he grew up there. And then he's coming to Earth and he's saving the little people. He's saving the workers in all these third world countries from all these abuses. He's still being Superman. He's embodying what Superman is.
I understand
in a better way. I think.
I understand it, but I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't get it. It's not winning me over. I like Wonder Woman. I don't even like Batman. I don't think Batman's
I think
great.
Batman's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
They're all fine. They're like, they're not Ultimate Spider-Man.
No, they're not Ultimate Spider-Man, which they should try to be.
Everything should try to be.
Everything should try to be that fucking good.
But as far as they go, I'm sticking reading with them. They're doing interesting stuff.
Listen, the redesign of Superman. It's not.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. The redesign of Batman, stupid.
Yeah, terrible.
The redesign of Wonder Woman, badass as fuck.
Sure.
Right. So, like, some of these things are hitting real hard because they're going, like, different. Real different.
They're not, though.
They're not.
She has a different aesthetic. It is still her.
She leans more on the magic stuff.
Okay.
Like, that's not a regular thing.
Right, but that's superficial. Doesn't change who she is.
No. They can't. They're all going to be who they are at the end of the day because that's who they are.
Right.
But the changes in the story, like I'm personally looking for something that's dramatically different. And there's nothing that dramatically different with Superman or with Batman. The only thing I find interesting with Batman is the fact that like he's on his path to Crazy Town before all of his villains are, and he seems like a bigger bag of shit for it. Like he's, it's like, oh, you're the dick.
He always has been.
Oh yeah, no, he always has been, but it's more on its face in this story.
I don't necessarily agree, but okay.
Like he. I didn't read the last. I have to read the last issue where he like outs himself to the rest of the group. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I'm gonna stop reading this shit. I don't care. Okay. I'm gonna continue to read. I'm gonna continue to read.
I'm not
Wonder
saying
Woman.
You have
to. Even if you did, it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying. I think they're all doing all right, and for them all doing all right, and having me invested in some way or another, Green Lantern completely uninvested for a first issue. Like no hook. It better do something soon, or it will be the first one I drop.
Nah, I've already dropped Superman. I might keep reading Flash, but I'll probably drop that too.
Yeah, again, understandable.
Yeah,
we've had the alternate universe conversation where it's like it doesn't matter, so why care?
Yeah,
sure. You got to really deliver in order to take up the time.
It matters, and you care when it becomes better than the main continuity book. And right now, you couldn't pay me to read either Superman. And right now, both Wonder Woman are great.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I read Batman come hell or high water. That doesn't mean it's good. That just means I'm devoted to Batman. And I'm not going to be devoted to absolute Batman because I'm already devoted to one, whether it's good or not.
I know, we've had this conversation several times.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Like Green Lantern, I got, you introduced 4 lanterns and not one of them was Kyle. Sorry.
No, they hit me. I like John and Joe, so it's like, okay, cool.
I like John and Joe, but I don't feel like John's going to have a major role.
No.
Yeah.
Unless they hand out rings real fast.
Right, so everyone's getting a ring. Apparently, Guy's the sheriff.
Guy's at least a cop.
Right, so they're going to start handing them out to the police department.
Yeah.
You get a ring, and you get a ring.
Yeah.
It's like, they are literally cops now. Ugh.
All right, let's pull away. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Let's pull away from the DC stuff and go to alternate Marvel stuff. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, #1.
Yeah, there's no way. There'll be Cold Day in Hell before I read it.
It's just another old man story. You know, it's old man hero in a world that's all fucked up.
Oh, so that's him on the cover? It's not Stick?
Yeah, it's him.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. He lost his powers, like, over time. His powers faded away. And he has none.
I don't know which cover I found more repelling, the Frank Miller or the fucking McNiven.
I'm going to tell you the McNiven cover, or the McNiven art, not doing it for me.
It's hard to look
at. A lot of art in the past couple weeks have been like, no thanks. But it was an okay read. Charles Soule writing it.
Yeah, usually good, but like,
yeah, it's look. If you like Daredevil, go for it. If not, you could absolutely pass it by. It's only 3 issues. That's it. He gets his powers back. Cap dies. Some weird dude has Punisher like on a wall, torturing him forever. That's the book.
Okay, sounds great.
Yep.
Not enjoy. Don't read regular Daredevil. Won't read this Daredevil. Don't even like the current season of the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me watch that and we can talk about it when I watch it. So yeah, Cold Day in Hell. Bruh. And then you got anything else you want to talk about? Because I want to wrap up on one particular thing.
No.
Okay. All right. All new Venom #5. We find out who Venom is. Yeah. All right. So a little lead up. After the last issue, I had a conversation with O'Brien about like what was going on because of the whole sleeper thing, whatever. And I had the theory that it is either Robbie or it was a whole red herring, and we were going to do other stuff. So I was working it out in my head, and I said to Brian, walked into his office and went, "Hey, it could be Paul, right? Because there's some stuff going on between."
You're gonna have to explain to everybody who the fuck Paul is, because Paul's been around for about 3 weeks, and and no one gives a shit at all who this clown, this man bun ass clown.
Cliff Notes is Paul is MJ's husband's boyfriend, whatever, from an alternate dimension, whatever. They had kids. Kids are gone. It's bullshit.
MJ? Spider-Man's MJ?
Mm-hmm.
Is married to a Paul from an alternate dimension?
Not anymore.
What, they're not married anymore?
I don't know.
They're married, aren't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they still live together. They just lost their kids.
Okay. I don't know if they're married.
I think they are.
Okay, whatever. It's besides the point. I would say it wouldn't be interesting if it was Paul, because Paul is kind of filling into this awkward father role for Dylan. There's already conflict for there. Like, they could do that. And I got close.
You got close.
I got real close. Brian was laying out the books on Monday when he got them in, and he literally texted me. He's like, "You're gonna hate who Venom is. They revealed it." And I was like, "All right, let me. I want to. Don't tell me. I want to see it on my own." And then like, I was driving to get breakfast with my wife, and I sussed it out in my head. I was like, "Let's see. If it's not that, so it can't be Robbie because it's not." He would have said I was right.
Yeah,
it would be Paul.
The first 3 suspects were Robbie, Rick Jones, and Luke Cage.
Luke Cage and Madam Mask, yeah.
And Madam Mask.
So it wasn't any of those. Those all been eliminated. He would have told me if it was Paul, because I would have had it right. So I was thinking it over. That one of the upcoming covers is Venom fighting Jackpot. So I was like, oh, that's what. Like, oh, it could have been Paul there too. All right. So with that new information of it being told I would hate it, I was like, all right, MJ. It's got to be MJ. So it was a red herring the whole time. They're bullshit. They're not giving us clues to who it should be. And then that cover would also convey the conflict between Venom and MJ being one person. So I was like, boom, MJ. And lo and behold, it's fucking MJ. Boo! Boo! Bad choice, Marvel.
Yeah, bad choice, Marvel, because without Spider-Man, no one gives a fuck about Mary Jane. And your refusal to put them back together as a couple is the fucking dumbest shit.
With Black Cat.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? How well do any of those books sell?
They actually do okay.
You're gonna sell you're gonna buy the jerk off material J. Scott Campbell variant or the Lobos variant, so you could fucking, spoon over it at home in your private into your gym sock. And these are fucking stories that suck fucking balls.
I don't know. I haven't read them. I can't say.
And MJ can't hang out with Black Cat anymore. She's busy stealing shit with the Avengers.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
But, so Mary Jane is Venom. I think it's dumb.
This is elevating these schmuck-ass characters that are people into being superheroes.
But that's
let people be people.
It's the curse, man. It doesn't matter. If you are in a superhero's orbit, you're going to get powers at one point or another.
Sure.
Or multiple times.
But let it go away. Let it go away. Black Cat is a thief. She should not be hanging out with the Avengers, going to fight Kang.
The Avengers needed to steal something.
And Mary Jane should never be shit. Let her. The best thing that she did that was cool is when she owned a nightclub. Let her go own a nightclub.
Mm-hmm. I do agree that you should not get powers because you are near a hero, but it's inevitable. It just happens. Way it goes. So on that cheery note, I think we're done. What are we reading next time, Bri?
What are we reading next time? Are we reading Rumpus Room?
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
More stories about billionaire douchebags. Very fitting.
So, had not read it. Weird one.
That was one of the ones that was on my list for a while, so
okay.
I figured let's get it done.
Yeah, I always said we're gonna get weird, and gonna get weird. So thanks for listening.
Thanks for questions.
Yes, thank you for questions. If you would like to set in questions or any kind of discussion topics or future book review suggestions, you could do that at thecomiccryptcast@gmail.com. Anything's appreciated.
And on a side note, we put a little animated video and our theme song on the YouTube channel. So if you're tired of not hearing the whole song in its completion, you can actually go listen to it on YouTube.
Yep. It's in the short section at the channel. And you can find us by searching our handle on YouTube, which is at thecomiccryptcast. Should be able to find us there. You can follow the store on Instagram and Facebook, see all the cool stuff coming in as it does. We got a bunch of Pokemon models again. Those blew out last time, and we got a big Invincible restock, so if you're feeling that, come grab up trades while you can. Links will be in the show notes for that stuff. Go read your books.
We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like comics. The hardcore get it while the soft bitches vomit. I came to this earth on a radiated comet. Now the planet is in perilous danger because I'm on it. Fly super villain with the superpowers in me. Got the red issues and all my shit is minty. Body like Ben Grimm, suckers I be beating down. Look around and we be found chilling out in Eatontown. I be at the comic crypt stacking up the kryptonite. Doomsday and Superman every time I grip the mic. Dark Phoenix overloading, supernova sunspot exploding. I'm the Punisher reloading Bobby Drake when he's frozen. Storm forming ominous clouds over the ocean. Working with Professor X to master my emotion. Have you posing in the box whether you know it or not. I'll easily bag your bitch like Logan did to Scott. Mr. Sinister plots when I administer shots to clone Gene from a jeans. Then this shit'll get hot like Inferno. Burn slow, humans are ash. God loves man kills in the days of future past. Now I'm working on a science lesson. Me and Brian Stratton, a rat in a cage who can't stop buying X-Men.
Like a flower that blooms in the spring. You were beauty, you were